And welcome to another episode of This Week in Metropolis. I'm James.
And I'm Matt. On this week's episode, it is quite a special one. We're going to delve into the world of fact or fiction. So we're going to be testing each other's brains and seeing how good they are at working out whether we are lying or we're telling the truth. So yeah, lots of exciting things to come. If you are watching us, certainly check out the comments and type your answers. Play along with us because that'll be loads of fun. If you're listening back to this, by all means, play along as well. Let us know in the comments of the post what you thought was the correct answer, and that'd be really cool. So, yeah.
Indeed. And while you're there, make sure you hit that subscribe button, especially on YouTube. I don't know, what are we at now, Matt? About 110?
56 million, yeah.
We're 110, 56 million. I believe that's the correct number that we're on.
That's the exact number.
So, yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And also make sure you're following us on all our socials. You'll find us on, if there's a social media platform, we're probably on it. So just look for This Week in Metropolis. You'll find us there. And don't forget, we've also got merch. Me and Matt have pulled out some of the new stuff and some of the old stuff. So you got new ones today? Or
it's here somewhere. It's here somewhere. New.
Boom. New. Oh,
just
both available. So make sure you go and buy some of our gear, basically, the clothing gear. Anyway, join us after this short video.
Hello and welcome to This Week in Metropolis.
Hello to everyone who is with us this evening. Thank you for joining us. If you are joining us live, I can already see Shane from Dawn of Comics is here. First in, last out. That's my new nickname. That's what he's saying. There you go, Shane. And before I go on to the next one, Shane, I just want to say a massive apology for the weekend. I was due to be on the Dawn of Comics quiz again. I literally went from feeling amazing. I actually recorded a little something in the morning, and then literally I went downhill after that. And to apologise again, I'm going to do a little Dawn of Comics quiz plug here.
Refreshing.
So, well, look forward to watching that as well. Meanwhile, we've also got Steve from SCW. Holla, gentlemen.
Holla.
Probably, and Steve won't mind me saying, probably about the most Spanish he actually knows. Anyway, Matt, how have you been?
I've been good.
Because you had a week off.
I had a week off last week, which I thoroughly enjoyed, doing pretty much nothing. And it's very rare to have that time off. Part of it was spent just laying, middle of the day, laying on the sofa, flicking through the TV, something that's absolutely unheard of doing. Discovered this show called, I think it was Lone Star Force. I think it was about, it was a reality thing. These Texas police types, and they were hunting poachers in the woods and stuff like that. And they had this little robot deer that they set up so that they could catch people shooting them and that. Amazing.
Amazing. Best
high-end
show ever.
Entertainment. Best show ever. Best day ever. Just laying there, watching that, letting it wash over me. What more do you want? Definitely.
What more do you want? Well, I'll tell you how my week started this week. I went to the dentist for the first time. Well, this one and my last appointment were the first ones in about 12 years. That's how bad. I mean, I haven't got terrible teeth or anything, but I know I need a couple of fillings or whatever. I was literally, they started doing something, I was literally in agony. Wow. I was holding onto the chair. The guy said to me, if it gets too uncomfortable, just put your hand up. I literally told him to stop. I said, stop doing this. Yeah, it was like that. I said, I will pay you money to stop doing what you're doing.
Wow. What was he doing anyway? What was the procedure?
What was the procedure? It was like,
or was he just looking in your mouth and it was that painful? Is that what we were?
yeah. No, it was like polishing of teeth. It was like a teeth you know. And I thought treat myself, but no, it was not a treat. The sensitivity was ridiculous. I told him basically, you either inject me with a load of gear, or it's not. No, again, I keep referring to gear tonight. That's the second
It's a
drop
common
already.
theme. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, he gave me some local anaesthetic, and that kind of worked. But yeah, I feel like I've been punched in the face today, to be honest with you.
But your teeth look beautiful, and that's the important thing, isn't it? Yeah.
There is a good point here. Shane says, "How have you got any teeth after 12 years?"
He does clean them though. Just
him, yeah.
If anyone remembers, I think probably season 4, we talked about James's teeth cleaning regime.
Do you remember I bought that? I did buy that UV light thing. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Just to go a bit Rylan.
Yeah, just to complete the Rylan.
Which there's a really good crossover with gear there. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, he got done recently for being filmed. Yeah, he was on a night out. I think he'd had a little few too many bevies. And basically someone was filming it on his phone and he said, "Are you going to get the gear then?" And then he went, "Oh, no, I don't mean that. Oh, don't post that." Anyway, that got leaked.
Oh,
breaking news there. Breaking news. I mean, it was about 2 weeks ago. But anyway.
Well, but an important factor about today specifically, if you're watching live, if you're listening back, obviously it'll be a different day. Been a lot on social media today about the fact that today is Tuesday, which we're from Norfolk. Most people would say it as Tuesday anyway, but it is Tuesday. Which, James, you said you know why it's Tuesday.
Well, yeah, it's Tuesday because today is the 22nd of the 2nd, 2022.
Yeah.
That there's... Have you got a fact about this, Matt?
No, just that really.
Just that it's Tuesday.
Palindrome, which means it goes
so the same
ways.
backwards. Yeah, if you were to turn it all the way around and go from back to front, it would read exactly the same. But it's also, and I don't know the word for it, but my wife has reliably informed me, if you flip it upside down, it actually reads exactly the same. There you go.
That's interesting.
A bit like the word SOS. Again, if you flip that round, it reads exactly the same. So, yeah, another little fun fact there. And while we're talking about fun facts, it's a unique date as well, 22222, which reminds me that my younger brother was actually born on the 9th of the 9th, 99, which makes me feel old because he was born in the 90s. But, it's an interesting date. I don't know when the next one we'll have of that, I guess.
I think it's going to 33. Yeah, which is obviously quite a few years off, isn't it?
Yeah. This is great. And by the way, hello, Phil, from Phil's Nerdiverse, who has joined us. End tonight's show at 22:22.
I don't think we can drag it out that long, to be honest.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how we get on. We've got quite a few though. We've got quite a few fact or fictions to run through, and it won't just be a statement with that is a fact or fiction. There'll be a bit of depth.
Yes.
Yes.
No. Wait, so shall we get started then? Because we thought we like to, anyone who's regularly views or listens to this show knows we don't really have a format. We just roll with it and do what we want. And we just thought it would be interesting to come up. James and I have separately come up with 10 fact or fictions, statements which we will read out, and then the other person has to guess: is it true or false, basically. So and they are just good. Now going to be clean.
Clean, unlike Shane. Shane, who said he does prefer friction. That's a fact.
Just clarify, it is fiction. Where we're going to be talking about today.
Triple G.
Pete's
in the house. Evening all. Hello, Peter. Thank you for joining us. And again, as Matt said in the intro to the show, if you want to get involved, tell us what you think, whether it's fact or fiction. I don't know how much of a time gap there is and a time delay, so we might have already passed before we start seeing all these different answers come flooding in. But Matt, do you want to kick us off with your first fact or
Yes.
fiction?
Just as a disclaimer, that I think a couple of these I may have already said to you at some point.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that you have a terrible memory and you actually forget. So let's hope. And there's some that I think you might know already. So, you know,
We'll see how we get on, Mark.
Let's see how Mark.
Terrible memory. Come on. Who's got the bad memory here?
I don't know. What are we talking about? I don't get it.
You just said, I hope you've got a terrible memory, and I called you Mark.
Ah.
Ooh, it's going to be a long night.
That's a good start to it. Anyway, let's get started. Right. So, number one, the term mullet, meaning a hairstyle that is business at the front, party in the back, does not originate from the 80s.
I'm going to say fact.
That it does not originate from the 80s.
Yeah.
That is correct. Have you any idea of where it comes from?
No, I don't. So now give the lowdown.
I only found this out a little while ago. Only sort of like about a month or so ago. The term mullet originates from the Beastie Boys. The Beastie Boys did a song in 1994 called Mullet Head. And that's where the term comes from. So, you know, you always associate it with an 80s haircut, but in the 80s, no one called it a mullet. It was something that was invented much later on and everyone's just adopted. Crazy.
So, was there a name for it? Sorry.
I don't know what it was called actually in the 80s, but the term mullet comes from 94. Yeah.
Blimey, 94? That seems really late as well, doesn't it?
Exactly. That's it. It does seem really, really late, but I can't even remember in the 80s thinking, oh, that guy's hair is a whatever. But I guess you don't really do that now. You don't look at someone's haircut and think he's got a whatever haircut, do you? So,
well, there's certain ones you would. Mohican, maybe you would.
A Mohican, all right. You've got a skinhead. Yeah, there are some.
Bald.
I guess, bald.
Yeah. Baldilocks. Baldosaurus. Anyway, well, what's interesting about that is I want to know: have you ever had a mullet?
No, never.
No, you didn't even fancy going for that style. I mean, that might be a good plug. That might be a good plug for me finally posting that picture of you with long hair. But I mean, it's definitely not a mullet.
No, it's not a mullet because it's long everywhere.
Yeah, long and dark. I didn't have a mullet because mullets have a particular, but I definitely had like in my late teens, I would say, where it was like shaved around the sides and then down, and then it was kind of left a bit longer at the back and spiky and all that on top. But
that sounds a bit like a mullet, doesn't it?
It sounds a bit like a mullet, but it's not like a classic mullet. I'd say it was like a modern mullet.
A modern mullet.
Mod mullet. Like a mod.
Nice.
Interesting. Well, let's. What have we got here? Was it? Shane said, "Was it called the Never Want to Get Laid Do?"
The thing
you
is,
say
though,
that, but there was some handsome blokes who had mullets.
Exactly.
A lot of footballers, like Waddle, had a mullet.
Yeah, I'd say Glenn Hoddle as well.
Yeah, and they were like handsome.
Sharp. No,
well, he's still rocking one, isn't he? Or is he finally going a bit?
That's it.
Yeah. Couple of hellos. Sorry, just to throw this in. My sister's here. Hey guys, can you give a shout out to Ethan watching from Nanny's house? That'd be my mother. Hello, Ethan.
Hello, Ethan.
Go to bed. And just to complete the set, my father is here. The unbelievable. Billy Ray.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Billy Ray, did he have one? Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he was a real.
He was rocking one. He was rocking
exactly.
One.
Women loved him. So there we go.
Exactly. It's a great way to start off. I'm going to top you though.
Oof.
Wait for this one.
Go.
There is a company. Don't ask me what they're called. Actually, I do know what they're called.
Good research.
I do know what they're called. No, but I have got their name. I can look it up within a minute. There's a company that drops dead bodies into the ocean to create a reef.
What?
Fact or fiction?
What? Real dead bodies? Like,
Yep.
are we talking?
Yeah.
Dead bodies into the. That's got to be fiction. I'm not having it that they actually drop dead bodies in there. One, where are they getting the dead bodies? Why have they got this surplus of dead bodies?
They got a surplus. We got too many dead bodies.
And secondly, like, how are dead bodies going to make a reef? Like, we was talking about dropping a spaceship into the sea. That's big. You can think that's, but someone's rib cage isn't going to be a reef, is it? Really?
That's a good point.
I'm saying fiction, personally, on that one.
Okay. My sister says fact. We've also had Shane, who said they say it's to create a reef, but really it's just the mob. He means getting rid
Rather
of
than the
loose.
Ministry of Defence that he's referring to.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. In like Sopranos, every time that's off someone, you know, right at the beginning, they're part of their crew, who's called Pussy, which was a great name. He was the informant, and they killed him and slung him over the side of the boat.
There you go.
That traditional sort of way.
Yeah.
Go on, hit me
I
with
can
it.
confirm it is fiction.
Yes.
However, there is a company that turns dead bodies into an ocean reef. Now, what they do is they mix the dead person's ashes with cement to create a pearl. And then what the family can do is they can do like etchings on there or prints. Or I mean, I don't know how big this pearl is. Like, I mean, if it was my hand, it'd have to be a bloody big pearl. And then they encase that in a reef ball. Right. And then they drop that in the ocean. I don't know. Again, my research was limited. I don't know where they're dropping this, but then it also gives back to like the ecosystem in the sea.
Nice idea.
Yeah.
I like that idea. It's just I just imagined a nuclear boat and they're chucking them over the side.
But they've got to get it in like a reef sort of, shape. You imagine if you were swimming in the sea and you came, oh look, there's a God. Yeah. Imagine that. Would you want to be turned into a reef?
Yeah, I think that's quite a nice idea, isn't it?
It's different, isn't it?
I love being in the sea, looking out to the sea. Chuck me out there, and that'd be good. Definitely. So it's a nice way. Yeah.
There you go. There's a nice little one for you.
That was.
Thanks.
So, number 2. Listerine mouthwash was originally developed as a floor cleaner.
I mean, it's got cleaning stuff in it, so
it has, and it's pretty strong stuff, isn't it?
It is pretty strong. I'm going to say fact on that one because it's got all the properties surely in it to do that. But is it too strong? Oh, now I'm questioning myself.
That's it.
Triple G says true. Also, Shane
says true.
That stuff is rough. I'm going to say fact on that.
So this is a bit of a cheeky one of mine.
Cheeky.
It being originally developed as a floor cleaner is false. However, it was originally developed as a surgical antiseptic. The guy who was a surgeon was called Joseph Lister, and he did it to kill germs while he was performing surgery. But later on, it was used as sold as both a floor cleaner and a cure for gonorrhea. So if you're in trouble, a couple of splashes down there, you'll.
I mean, I love using a bit of original sauce, mint and tea tree, but that's taking it to another level.
That's quite an intense sensation. But it wasn't until that was in 1879 that it was first sort of used for those. Yeah. but it wasn't until the 20s when it was marketed as a cure for halitosis that people started using it as a mouthwash. Yeah,
Interesting.
there you go.
I wonder if there's any other sort of products that have got like previous use for something else. You know, bleach was used to, like, if you said to me, bleach used to be used as mouthwash.
Eye wash,
Yeah, yeah.
like that.
Bleach was used as a cure for coronavirus
That's it.
by Donald Trump.
By Donald Trump, yeah.
Interesting. There you go. Again, interesting fact. And also coming back round to teeth and all sorts, so nice
That's
connection
it.
there, Matt. And bear in mind, just for the listeners and the viewers, we haven't discussed these with each other, so there may be some actually that we both have. In which case, this will be a short show.
Yeah, we'll be over in a minute.
But so far, so good. On with my second. Dolphins. Really, every time I think about this, it's not to do with it, but I always think of Ricky Gervais's Animal stand-up, and he'd done some really funny facts about animals that just I could use most of them, but I won't. Dolphins sleep with one eye open.
The question is, why would they sleep with one eye open? I reckon that this is plausible because they could sleep with one eye open, just see what's going on. You know, they're not. I don't really know much about dolphins in terms of how many predators they've got that are after them, but I don't think they're not. You know, I don't think a dolphin would be good at fighting, so it needs to keep an eye out as to what's going on. I'm going to say fact. They sleep with one eye open.
Okay, just see if anyone. Well, Shane has. Totally true. Dolphins are freaks.
Good analysis on that.
Bit harsh. Sorry, just before I come back to Chris, I love the fact you brought this one up. The gay dolphin facts are coming. Ricky has all the best gay dolphin facts. Have you seen that one, Matt?
I haven't, no. So it's completely new to me.
He talks about a dolphin having sex with another dolphin in his blowhole.
In his blowhole.
Yeah.
Right.
And he says he says something like, you can just imagine the conversation going on with the one who's getting, you know, penetrated in his blowhole. He goes, "I love you, Dave, but I can't breathe." it just makes me laugh thinking about it. Anyway,
hit me.
It is a fact.
Yeah.
And you've pretty much hit the nail on the head there. They stay on guard of predators even while part of their brain sleeps. So it's interesting that they're still semi-conscious of what's going on around them, even though they're still getting their rest, because they need, apparently, like their intelligence requires them to have that rest. So to be able to do that, what I'd like to add to this point is I've wrote all these down probably much the same as you have. So I was reading the fact from a reliable source and then writing it down. And something that's always been said to me, and I don't think you've ever said it, but certainly Mark from Question Mark and my wife have always said, and probably a few other of my friends, that I tend to make stories up a lot of the time, or I'll change part of it and then it becomes a different story altogether. And as I'm writing down what I'm reading, I wrote, even while half of their brain sleeps. It wasn't half, it's part of it. Basically, the moral of the story is don't trust a word I say.
Don't trust any of these facts that you're coming out with.
No. Imagine that, though, sleeping with one eye open. I mean...
I'd just like to know, like, because when we're asleep, we're dreaming, other stuff's going on. If you've got one eye open, does that mean that you're aware of your dreams and reality at the same time?
That's a good point. But then do dolphins dream? That's a whole question altogether. I've got an interesting eye sleeping fact, though. And I don't know if I've ever told you this one. It's a shame because I just noticed that my dad has gone from the show now. He's back to work. Good. And just quickly say hello to Isla, who's here.
Yeah.
Hello, Isla. So for those that don't know, we call my dad Unbelievable Jeff because, well, I mean, this has got no reason to it, but Jeff Stelling once said no, Jeff Stelling didn't say it, but Chris Kamara said to Jeff Stelling, Unbelievable Jeff. So that's what I've always called him. And whenever I say it, we always do this because my dad's got one eye, right? He has got a glass eye. So if you saw him, Matt, you've met my dad. It's not something you automatically go, ah! No. He's not walking around with a, an open wound, let's say. But anyway, the point is, obviously, he can't see out of that eye. So of an evening, I remember this like growing up, and my sister's in the show, watching the show, so she'll be able to confirm it as well. Of an evening, my dad will be sitting there watching the telly, and his eyelid's not made of glass, just to confirm this. It's not like got half a face made of glass. But on his blind side, his eyelid goes to sleep because the muscle relaxes because it's not. I guess because what he sees out of that is that all day anyway. Like it's darkness, so it's just fascinating that half of his while one eye's open while he's watching the TV, the other one's just gone to sleep.
Yeah,
how mad is that?
It's dolphin.
It's dolphin. That is. He's half dolphin. Blue Sonic's in the house. Evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us again. Speaking of Sonic, just sidetrack quickly. I watched the Sonic movie for the first time the other day.
And what did you think?
The first one. The second one, I don't think it's actually out yet, is it? No,
I think that's due to be out quite soon.
I thought it was all right, and
yeah, it's all right. No,
my son absolutely loves it. So yeah, good shout. We've also got Comic Bound. Evening all. How's it going? Thanks for joining. Yeah, so there you go. Dolphins. They sleep with one eye open.
So on to my next one, which I think you might know. This one.
Okay.
It's a relatively well-known fact. Chaz and Dave played on one of Eminem's biggest hits.
No, that is. No. I love the way you said. I think you might know this one because the only way I would know that one is if it was true, and it is definitely false. Fiction every day of the week.
You're going with fiction.
Hang on, let's just see if anyone else knows because I'm sticking with fiction. But if anyone else wants to throw their suggestions into that, Chaz and Dave with Eminem. In fact, I've been listening to a bit of Eminem again recently because he done the whole halftime Super Bowl thing with Dr. Dre.
Can I just say, you sent me that link and I didn't reply to you about that. I watched that and that was just heaven.
I knew you would love it, and I can't believe you hadn't seen it already.
No, I had no idea about it. It was completely off my radar. I'm not really into the Super Bowl or anything like that.
Oh no one is.
Yeah, but I completely missed it.
Yeah,
you watched the whole game, didn't you?
Yeah, I loved it.
All 36 hours of
throwing that egg around.
They are. What I did think though with that performance though, if you was the other side. You really lucked out.
Rubbish.
You saw Kendrick Lamar, and that was it, because he was the only one that was that side, and then everyone else was.
Oh yeah.
The other
side. And but Kendrick Lamar. I mean, I thought he was I thought he was a British singer, or am I thinking of someone else?
No.
There is someone called Lamar, isn't there?
Lamar, who used to be on. I think he was on Fame Academy or something like that. BBC
yeah, that's the one.
That's
that
not
him?
The same one. No.
Oh.
Kendrick's from LA. So yeah, there you go.
Is he from the same time though as all of them, or is he more?
No,
recent?
He's more recent. But I think
what's the point?
We was talking about it. He's an absolute legend. Don't say a bad word. But I think he was mentored by Dre at some point. So I think that's why he was there. But yeah, but during this interlude, we've got a few answers in the comics.
Yes,
which are sort of a mixture.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
So Comic Bound, true.
Peter, I need that to be fact.
Need that to be a fact. Chris, fiction. If it's not, it should be. Comic Bound, unfortunately, has no idea who Chaz and Dave are, which is a bit of a letdown.
Well, is Adam from the States, so he may not be familiar with them.
Well, there you go. That's it.
My sister gave me goosebumps. So she's talking about the performance. Right. Okay. I'm still going with fiction. Hit me.
It's true.
No.
But it's true. It's a bit of a cheaty true, but it is actually true. So Eminem's song "My Name Is"
What?
samples. Stop it.
My name is.
Samples a song called "I Got That," which is by someone called Labby Sifri. That is the song that Chaz and Dave were session musicians on that song, and that was then sampled for Eminem's "My Name Is," and it's the boom, ba-dum, ba-dum.
I wish we had the soundbite of that song.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's
it's the main bit, that main sample that's all the way through. My Name Is. That is Chaz and Dave playing that.
That's mad. Yeah. Do you know what I thought you was going to say? Wasn't he in the film 8 Mile? Wasn't his character's name Rabbit?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
and I thought it was going to be something to do with
that inspired rabbit.
They actually, if there's like an uncut version or an extended version, there's a song where they all team up.
Yeah.
To do Rabbit.
Amazing that.
Is that what that song's actually called, Rabbit? Or
I think so, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've seen Chaz and Dave live.
I've seen Chaz and Dave live. I saw him at Jimmy's Farm.
I saw him at Jimmy's Farm as well.
Do I know you?
Yeah. I saw you, but I was just like this. So throughout the entire performance.
Someone from work. Kids, stay away. You were like that. Stay away from him, boys.
Don't look at him.
Yeah.
No, it's a different day. I'm sure it's a different day.
Chaz and Dave and Eminem, blimey. Well, I mean, they're not. Let's just be
and that's
clear.
it. I mean, it was
not
a bit
all performed.
of a cheat. They weren't in the studio together, but technically,
I'm loving this, Marshall. I'm loving it.
Yeah. There we go.
Nice. I've got another animals fact for you here, or is it fiction? Who knows?
Yeah.
Pigs. Did you know? Well, you might not know. They don't sweat.
Right. So my deliberation on this one: pigs cover themselves in mud to stay cool, don't they? So that suggests that the reason they have to do that is because they don't sweat. So you sweat to get rid of the heat. So I'm going to say that is true. They don't sweat.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Shane also thinks it's true.
Yeah.
There's a few other comments there about Chaz and Dave, but we'll move on from that. My sister says it's true.
True.
True, Jameson. Just another little fun fact here from Shane. Yeah. Let's just throw that one up on the screen so the viewers can see. They also have corkscrew peckers and orgasm for bloody ages. How do you know that one, Shane?
That's I was going to say, is this from experience or, how do we find that
out? Chris, there's one pig that claims to not sweat, but he's sweating now. Topical.
Well, he's not sweating anymore because he paid him off. So, yeah.
Well, I can confirm that the answer is true. It's a fact.
Yes.
But it does question if anyone, there's the saying, isn't there? I'm sweating like a pig.
Mm.
So if anyone ever says that to you again, you've then got to say to them, pigs don't sweat.
Let me correct you there. Yeah.
Hold up. Hold up.
Hold up.
Oh, there's a theme tonight. I love it. They're all crossing over somewhere or another. Yeah. But apparently they're born without sweat glands.
Amazing.
What would be amazing is if, little fun fact for you here, if ferrets weren't born with sweat glands, because they absolutely stink.
But they reek of wee, don't they, ferrets?
It's their sweat glands. That's what it is.
Well, is that what that smell is?
That smell, the ferret smell, which is disgusting, is from their sweat glands. So they can be, another fun fact, this isn't in my list, but having worked in a pet shop when I was younger, to my sins, they can have their sweat glands removed.
They must be tiny. Ferret sweat glands.
What, their sweat glands? Sorry, I was going to say.
No, not the ferret, because the ferret, it's little sweat glands.
Yeah. Weird though. I
That
just
is a
wouldn't
good
have a
fact.
ferret.
No, they're quite cute looking, aren't they? But just the stink, yeah.
They're bloody quick. That's what I tell you. Trying to catch
Mm.
them when they're in a little cage or whatever. I mean, pet shop talk. Let's move away.
Let's leave that till after the show.
Let's. We'll talk about that after the bloopers. So what's going on in the comments here? They're talking about.
I
Adam's
think Chris is just
thick.
insulting Comic Bound.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty much
I think
what's going on.
there's an argument going on or something. Matt Kerry says, "Don't believe a word of it, Matt. He makes it all up."
At least he admits that most of the time.
Oh God, I just nearly wiped out my beer then.
It did look like for those listening, it did look like James was just attacked by a ferret.
Ferret,
but it was his control of his book where it was
just
the issue.
My body movements are it's crazy,
all over the place.
Let's move on to your next one.
Next one. This is a great one. I love this one. Just to build it up a little bit. So, the distance from Earth to space. Let me reword this. The distance from Norwich, where we live near, to space is further than from Norwich to London. Fact or fiction?
I'm going to say fiction. And I'll tell you for why. I actually have a similar fact, which I think might answer that fact, or the one that you've suggested. Let's see what others are saying. So Shane reckons it's fiction.
Fiction.
Sorry, I'm just saying. I'm saying another fact here. Adam, comic Bound has just said sorry, and it's going back one. We'll come back to your space one. I don't know much about pigs or ferrets, but what I do know is that dogs can't look up.
I guess they can't because they have to move their whole body, don't they, to look up? It's not that their head doesn't go whoop and pivot.
But it depends if you're talking about like us doing that and being able to do
but we can at least bend our head a little bit.
I'm going to check that with my dogs.
Yeah, getting dogs. There's a real mixed bag with this one in terms of fiction and fact.
Yeah,
it's split the room. So
Phil saying fact, Comic Bound saying fact, Pete and Shane are saying fiction. Throw it at us.
Let's put you out of your misery.
I said fiction.
So the distance from Earth to space, or from Norwich to space, is further than Norwich from London, was a question, and that is actually false.
So
it is a greater distance from Norwich to London than it is from Norwich to space, and the actual sort of distances are from Earth to space is 62 miles, which didn't seem like that far at all. And it's to do with it. The actual definition of space is the point just outside of the Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah.
Which is called the von Karman line. From Norwich to London, it's 98 miles. So it's sort of a third further almost.
I'll put you out your misery, and we can tie these two together. My fact or fiction is it would only take 2 hours to drive to space, and that's driving
in what?
In a car. If you could literally put your car like that and drive up,
they did in the last Fast and Furious film, which I think I've referenced a few times.
And just to make it kind of add a bit more context to it, if you were driving at 60 miles per hour,
right,
it would only take 2 hours to drive to space. Is that fact or fiction?
Well, no, that wouldn't. That would be fiction, because if it's 60 miles to Earth, from Earth to space, it don't take 1 hour.
Correct. It would only take around 1 hour. And I thought that was fascinating.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
To think that it. I mean, you and I, we both come from Essex, so we drive down to London and Essex, and it takes about an hour and a bit to get down there. To think that it takes less time if you were to be able to drive up to space.
Crazy. But I don't know if you watched any of the like the Blue Origin, where Jeff Bezos went to space, and when Virgin Galactic went to space sort of at the end of last year.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, in their rocket, it was sort of, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes there and back to just to that sort of point. So, yeah, it's not far at all.
There you go. Look, the youth of today. Ethan has told my sister, this is my nephew, it would take 4 hours to drive to the moon if you could.
There you go. But you could do, because the moon's further than, what's it?
Further than
edge
London.
of the atmosphere, isn't it? And further than London, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know how far it is to the moon. I didn't look that up.
No.
Yeah. And there you go.
I like this one from Adam. Too fat, too furious.
No,
Nice.
I wish I'd thought of that title for our.
We could have had that as
to
a
be honest.
banner.
Yeah, that would have been the name.
But
Awesome.
because we hadn't done any sort of, checking of what facts and fictions we've got here, it's all fresh as it comes off the page.
Exactly. So
anyway,
you ready?
I've
for
just
the next
done.
one?
It's your one. Yeah, go.
Again, this is one that I think you might know.
Go on.
When launched in 1886, one of Coca-Cola's ingredients was cocaine.
I think I do know that one. It's not on mine. And I believe it is a fact.
Yeah. And it is, just to sort of cut this one short,
Because we went silent.
Yeah, it is true. And the reason for it, the name, as Shane has correctly said, in it, the name Coca-Cola comes from coca leaf, from where the cocaine came from, and the cola nut, which was spelled either Kola or at the time Cola, is where they got the caffeine from. So it was Coca-Cola. But they do still, the company still gets the cocaine leaves on the coca leaves from Bolivia and Peru, but they extract the cocaine out of it and sell it for medical use, basically. So it's still the same thing, but they take the actual cocaine out of it. It's they just use the leaves instead.
Mad. So were people getting off their nut on this then?
I guess so, yeah. I think when it first came out, I've not put a lot of information about it. When it first came out, it was more of a medicinal thing. It wasn't like a drink that you just buy in the shop. It was something you'd get more from a pharmacy. Dealer. I think it was like a stomach medicine and things like that. So, yeah, quite possibly.
Interesting. Well, I mean, when you think about what you can get with like, what's the stuff... that you can buy now to drink and add it into your stuff. We've talked about it before, didn't you? I feel bad talking about that. I bought some for my dogs to calm them down.
Oh, well, CBD.
CBD and all that sort. I'm not saying that's at the same level as cocaine, but surely that's a similar
it's a
thing,
similar thing, isn't it? You know, you have the relaxing qualities of the cannabis, but not the THC, like the hallucinogenic, or not really hallucinogenic, but like that side of it. So yeah, I guess it's a similar sort of thing with it.
Phil's made a good point. This is a gear heavy show.
Yeah, heavy show. It is. Yeah, it keeps coming back to either Dr. Dre or drugs.
Gear. And teeth.
Or teeth.
Well done on to Isla as well. She said it was a fact. Phil, first of all, Phil saying, sorry, missed a good chunk of this. I have a mad fact or fiction I'd like to share, but don't know if it is already or if it's on the to-do list.
Please share it, Phil. We'd love to see it.
Question one, what the bloody hell you been doing?
Well, that is very true.
But yes, I would like you to share it, please, Phil, when you can. We will come around to that one. But in the meantime, while Phil's typing, because I hope it's got quite a bit of information in there, I've got an interesting one for you, Matt. You ready?
I'm ready.
There is a bridge in Germany that you can walk across that's made of Lego.
How big is this bridge? Are we
Big.
talking a bridge?
I'm talking
bridge
a big,
over a river or
yeah,
like that
big,
sort of thing?
big bridge, big bridge.
I'm going to say false.
You reckon
Because
it's fiction?
I would say, fiction. Because I would say if you had a bridge like made out of Lego, it would be in Denmark where Lego actually comes from. So so why would you have it in Germany instead of Denmark? So that would be my reasoning with it.
Let's just see if anyone. Shane, fact, but you have to wear shoes, otherwise it's like a
Very
Saw
true.
movie.
Well, they could use the smooth bits, couldn't they, on the top?
That's a good point.
Yeah,
I never thought about it like that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you.
Go on.
You are right. It is fiction.
Yeah.
However, there is a bridge in a place called Wuppertal, which is in Germany. That if you look at it, it looks like it's made of Lego, but it's actually been painted to look like Lego.
Ah.
There you go.
Which is a bit like, which would mean absolutely nothing to anyone, but I'm going to mention it anyway. In Dagenham, there was a housing estate which was a few blocks of flats, and we used to call it Legoland because it looked like it was made out of Lego.
Well, and weirdly, it was in Dagenham because up the road in
just off the A13, it was. Yeah.
Well, up the road in East Ham, where Upton Park was, the West Ham Stadium, that looked like it was made out of Lego, and that got ridiculed. I mean, it's no longer there, sadly, but
there you go. Have a drink for it.
We're still waiting for Phil to get his question, but before that, Matt, give us another one.
Yeah. So I see he's just put his facts, but let me do mine first. Again, this is one that you will potentially know. Did Gordon Ramsay, prior to his career, or fact or fiction, Gordon Ramsay, prior to his career as a TV chef, steal £4,000 worth of guitars from 80s pop star Paul Young in 1998?
Gordon Ramsay?
Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, right. I thought you was going to say, did Gordon Ramsay play as a professional footballer? In which case, yes, he did.
He did. Yeah, he did. That is true.
Did he steal from guitars? Paul Young. Gordon Ramsay? I just can't see Gordon Ramsay doing that. No, fiction.
Fiction. You're going with fiction.
Pardon me.
Or just a burp. It is fiction, but this is one with a bit of a twist. It is fiction because it was actually Gino D'Acampo.
Oh, of course. God, we spoke about this.
Yeah.
I think it was the Paul Young bit that threw me. I didn't think of Paul Young.
Yeah, it was. It was Gino D'Acampo.
And he done time, didn't he?
He served 10 months in prison for it. And they found him because they found his DNA on a cigarette butt that he left in the house.
What did he did it?
Exactly.
But I love Gino, so I can't be angry at him.
There you go. That's it.
Are you a fan of Gino D'Acampo or?
A bit. I in that program with Fred and Gordon, like the dynamic and three of them, it's great. Him doing Family Fortunes is just painful.
But then that's game shows for you. I just don't think they're the same anymore. I love him, especially during lockdown when This Morning would be on and he was in the kitchen or whatever.
Yeah,
it's just the way he's. Sometimes I wonder whether it's put on a bit. But then at the same time, I think, language barriers and things like that, he'd say things like...
Yeah, I think he plays that up a little bit.
I think he does, because he can get away with it.
Yeah.
Shane's asked a question to you here. How many guitars was that?
I don't know. If I'm honest.
It's definitely true, though.
But it's true, yeah. Gino D'Acampo did do it. Look it up. There's
I'm sure they reconciled. I think it was all returned and he actually apologized, and I'm pretty sure.
I think the slightly sadder part of the story is that in there, as well as the guitars, he nicks a load of other stuff, and in part of it was recordings of Paul Young's wife. I don't know if she was singing or whatever, but they weren't ever replaced, and his wife's died. So he was a bit cut up by that. So I think there was a bit of guilt on Gino's conscience. But you're right. I think when it came out that in on the internet or whatever, that there was a reconciliation of that. But There you go. But
There you
we've
go.
got Phil's.
Shall I throw it up there, Matt?
Yeah, put it up there.
Here we go. Phil from Phil's Nerdy Versus said, US President John Tyler, born 1790, has a grandson alive today.
So if you need
1790.
to do the maths with that, don't you? So I mean,
Quick
let's
maths.
say he lived till 90. That would have been 1880, and then
Well,
he
let's say he
would,
lived to 100. It was
or
1890.
lived to 100. That would be 1890, and he would have had kids. Say, I don't know,
200.
20.
220. He would be 222 right now.
Yeah,
I
but
think.
no, has a grandson alive today. So that's what we have to
grandson.
work out,
No,
don't
it's
we?
still not happening.
So he would have had, let's say if he was 20 when he had his son, that would have been,
Well, no,
what's it, 1810.
Almost what you want to do is, because you don't want it to be he had his son in 1810. You want it to be that he had a son very late in life.
Well, no, I was just doing like from the earliest possible sort of situation and see if that would work. If he had his son at 1810 and then his son lived 100 years, that'd be 1910. And then, but you're right, he could have had kids really late in life, couldn't he?
So actually,
I think it's true. I think it's fact. Because if he did have kids very late in life, that could happen.
Oh,
if he
and
lived a long while.
And also, here's one. Here's one here. What if he had his semen frozen?
Oh, what? And someone else?
And then someone had it later, and then
would they been? I don't think they would have been able to do it at that time, though, would they?
Stick in a freezer,
pack it in a bit of ice. You know, they would have had a freezer in 1790, though, would they?
Would they not?
I don't think people had freezers until like the 50s, something like that, the 1950s. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Shane saying men can have babies.
Yeah.
Men can't technically have babies, just for the record, but they can certainly create babies.
Assist. Yeah.
and what's his name? And John with the assist.
Yes.
Make
Go put us out of our misery, Phil.
Yeah, tell us, Phil.
I say fact, personally. With
I'm saying friction.
Friction. Fact. There you go. Phil shared it with us. Fact. Amazing. I'd love to know how it worked, though, Phil. If you know, like, did he have kids later in life, or you know how old his grandson was? That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
It's your turn.
It's my turn. This is a science one for you, Matt.
Science.
1/6. That's 1/6.
Yeah.
Of all your bones are in your feet.
I'm going to say that's true, because if you think about, I know part of your hands, you've got quite a few bones, but otherwise they're quite big, aren't they? You know, you're limited in terms of your arms and your legs, how many you've got, and that. But in the feet, you've got lots and lots of little bones, haven't you? That you can break, like your metatarsals and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say fact for that one.
Okay.
Definitely.
Shane also says fact. Isla says true. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll put you out your misery. If anyone's going to throw in theirs, we'll comment on in a sec. But it is fiction. It's in fact a quarter of your bones.
Quarter. Wow.
52 out of 206 bones in your body are in your feet.
Yeah. Wow.
How mad is that? Think about that, though. A quarter. Yeah. When you think about, you know, I'm 6'4", so you know, there's a lot of bones. For the record, I'm about 5'10". But anyway, just thinking like of your whole body. It doesn't. If you were to section your body up, like your feet probably account for what? One?
Oh, it's a tenth at the most, isn't it? Yeah, exactly.
Like it's hardly anything. But the thing that there's a quarter of the bones in your body, that's mad in your feet.
That is crazy, isn't it?
Wow.
We have Chris has shared a fact for us. which
Shall I get
is
that?
great.
Shall
People are getting involved.
I throw it up there?
Yep. So the Spanish brought chocolate over from America, and monks made hot chocolate was so good they kept chocolate secret for over 100 years from Europeans. True or false? Interesting.
I think that's true.
Hmm.
I don't know it, but I think that's true.
I don't know. Who found America first? I said, well, chocolate would be from South America, because there's some Mayans and people like that had it, didn't they?
So
Maybe.
Phil's just coming in. It's fact. Chris is a historian.
That is a very good point. Yeah,
Chris
so
is
let's say
fact. Chris is a historian.
just this is his job to know these things. So yeah, definitely go for facts.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting hearing the answer to that. Let me ask mine while we're having this.
And what? Sorry, while you're doing that, just say hello. Who's that?
Cable's Lost
Son. Hi guys, sorry I'm late. No problem.
Welcome.
Thanks for joining us.
Not a problem at all. We've still got loads to talk about, so you're all good.
We're not ending till 22.
That was the plan.
Not the year, by the way.
Not the year. No. Three Gorges Dam in China is so large it is thought that it has changed the shape of the Earth.
Ooh. If that is a fact, that is a crazy fact. The fact that something.
It is one of the largest dams. I don't know whether it is the largest dam, but it is one of the largest dams in the world, and the amount of water that it does hold is significant.
Is this a good time for me to say, damn? Damn, son. Get in there, Matt. Get in there. And only me and you know. Anyway, I'm going to say fiction.
Well, you will be pleased to hear it is actually fact.
Wow.
So in 2005, NASA calculated that the shift of water mass stored by the dams would increase the total length of the Earth's day by 0.06 microseconds and make the Earth slightly more round in the middle and flat on the poles. So it just squashed it a bit because it's that big, which is insane that you think you can do something like that actually changes the Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, China.
Cheers, China, again. First coronavirus and now this. Brilliant. I guess the dam was probably first. So
well, exactly. I mean, the dam, I think, was made in the early 2000s, or it was constructed and then they flooded in the early 2000s. But yeah, absolutely.
But then I guess it has a purpose, doesn't it? So I mean, you can't really
exactly
fault them for doing it.
No, it does, and it's just one of those, things, isn't it? If you change the stuff on the planet, it's going to have that butterfly effect or whatever it is, cause and effect, isn't it? With those sort of things.
Great film. Have you seen that film, by the way?
I have seen that film, not for a very, very long time.
Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah. Miserable film. I remember watching it. I've not watched it again for the reason that I watched it, and I felt, it was just such a downer.
Oh, it's massively down. Yeah, massively down. We're still waiting for Chris to come back on his true or false on his.
Chris is lost in.
He's going to leave us waiting. Yeah, he's reading some historical books.
That's it.
Anyway,
we move on. Next one.
Yes, you'll like this one. It's whether I made it up or not, I guess. The inventor of the Pringles can.
Right.
Is now dead, and
true or false?
he wanted to be buried in one. True or false?
Oh my god! So just to clarify, is it that he was born? He wanted to be buried in a actual size one. Or did they create?
When I say buried, I imagine he was cremated. My facts.
Right. Was it they created like a coffin,
a giant Pringles
can, and pushed
I
him
mean,
in
it could have been. It could have been, but I'm
That'd be
guessing
impressive, wouldn't it?
he. I don't know when he died. I do know when he died. I just didn't write it down. So
Just make it up. No one's ever going to know.
1980 something. Go. Were Pringles around then? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm going to say that is false, personally, because I want to say it's false, but then you think if he invented that, he probably made a lot of money out of it.
Yeah.
And if he became this like eccentric inventor, he'd probably think, oh, yeah, I'm gonna be buried in a Pringles can. But I'm gonna stick with my first answer, which is false.
Okay.
But I see we've got a couple of trues in the thingy.
Yeah. Isla said it's true. Phil wants it to be true. Shane thinks it's fiction. Cable's lost son. Scatter the ashes. Once you pop, you can't stop. That's it.
It's a limited edition.
It was a limited edition flavour.
Charcoal.
I can tell you that it is true. It's a fact.
Wow.
Frederick Bauer, B-A-U-R. He was the creator of the Pringles. Bauer, he created the Pringles can, not necessarily
the
crisps
contents and such.
Yeah. And when he passed away, it was his wish that he would be buried in one. Again, the word "buried" kind of does. I do question. I might need to look into whether he was cremated.
Find a picture. I think
a picture, with his head popping out.
Hey.
But the big question that his family had, like they were happy to go ahead with it, but the big question that his family had were what flavour Pringles can they put him in?
Yeah. Well, surely they should have put, what was his name again?
Frederick Bauer.
Frederick. It could just be like Frederick flavour, couldn't it? Because it's a bit weird. But,
I can confirm they did put him in a particular flavour.
And what
do you want to have any guess on which one it was?
Sour cream and chive. That's quite classic, isn't it?
I love sour cream and chive.
No. Yeah, exactly. So do I. That's why I said it.
He was put in the original flavour, which was just
just like ready salted.
Ready salted, yeah. Boring.
Yeah, exactly. You want to go something a bit exotic, don't you?
There you go. If you could be buried in something in particular, what would it be? I mean, we've already done one burial thing, which was in the sea, in a reef.
I don't know really. I've not thought. We have to come back to this.
Yeah.
I feel too much pressure. I don't know. Yeah.
Still waiting for Chris. Come on, Chris. What are you doing?
Chris,
is he going to find out? Is he now reading a book to see whether it is true or false?
Probably, yeah. Because he's not confident when you answer. So, next one, the second biggest search engine worldwide. So, the second most used search engine worldwide has only a 7% market share.
Fiction. That's got to be fiction. Like, don't get me wrong, Google is the one.
I was going to say, you have to think of the options, I guess, don't you, with this?
Google.
Who's out there?
Bing. I mean, who's using Bing?
That's it.
But the one search option. So, not a browser.
No, the actual search engine itself, yeah.
Yahoo. Bing.
Just to assist, the top three, and the top three that I've got
Google.
stats for are Google, Bing, and Yahoo are the ones in the top.
I mean,
three.
I'm quite pleased that I know the top three are. To be fair,
there you go.
I'll take that just for today. Good night.
It's a win.
I'm going to say if that's the top three, it's still got to be 7%. It's got to be a bit more. I think higher than 7%. I'm going to say fiction.
Fiction. And there's a mixed bag in there in terms of
Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves, I remember Ask Jeeves, and Lycos for the old school. Trues, some falses in there, a real mix. It is actually true. And the stats are Google has 86.19% share of the market.
That doesn't surprise me.
The
It's so
search
high,
engines. Bing has 7%, and then in third, Yahoo has 2.77%. Still people out there for representing Yahoo. Which is crazy, isn't it?
I mean, they must be employing people for that, so good.
Yeah. In the meantime, I have thought of an awesome burial technique.
Yeah.
Imagine as an action figure. You get an action figure in the plastic case.
Yeah.
Right, so it's on cardboard, and there's you've got the plastic over you. Like that. That'd be good.
Buried.
Yeah. Like, so
what,
you're in the plastic bubble.
A giant size one.
Yeah, giant one.
Then you'd have little accessories next to you, like your most prized assets.
A little sort of, boombox or something like that. Be awesome.
There you go. And how weird, Shane just said, what accessories would you come with?
A boombox and a wig. That'd be nice.
A wig?
So I can be like long-haired Matt or bald Matt.
Young Matt, yeah.
That'd be good. Air Jordan ones as well.
Well, you'd be wearing them, wouldn't you?
Actually, I'd probably have them on. And there you go.
Nice. My next one was the space one, so we can skip past that because we've done that. Okay. Well, this one's kind of what is it? Biology, I think.
I don't know. It's your question.
Yeah. A cloud can weigh more than 1 million pounds. It's interesting because you think about clouds, they're light, you fly.
They look
through
like they're
them.
light and fluffy, but they're actually just
them.
moisture, aren't they? It's just water.
Mm.
So I guess if you had a really big cloud,
But 1 million pounds.
Yeah. I'm going to say fact.
Fact.
Fact. Clouds are big and they're full of water. It's going to be a fact.
Well, annoyingly,
the question is though, how do you weigh a cloud? Like, how do you know that this is the case?
Annoyingly, with your knowledge, you are. Sorry, Shane just said coins or notes.
Coins or notes. I was thinking that. Yeah.
With your intelligence, you are correct. It is a fact, and it's calculated by the water density of a cloud times by its volume.
There we go.
There you go. So yes, a cloud can weigh more than 1 million pounds.
Wow.
Heavy. That's heavy shit.
That is very. And just as an update, I can't even remember the question now. But, what Chris has said.
Hot chocolate.
Chocolate, the Spanish hid chocolate from someone.
The world? Europe.
It's true. Yeah, they made good hot chocolate. It was true. So if you rewind back and listen to what the question was.
Yeah, if you rewind back to episode 4 of this series, there's Chris just confirmed it is true.
He's confirmed the answer to that question. Yeah.
Yeah. And Chris has also said
not another question.
What is this? The gene that made European
white skin is 8,000 years old.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
The gene that made Europeans white skin is 8,000 years old. Fact or fiction? Join us next week and we'll find out the answer. No, sorry, Chris. I'm going to say that is fiction.
How long have humans been on the Earth?
Do you know, I really thought you was going to say, how long have you been on Earth?
No, how long have humans been on Earth? That's the question, isn't it? I really don't know. 8,000 years.
When were the old dinosaurs?
Yeah, when were dinosaurs around? That's the.
It can't be 8,000 years, can it? Because we're in the year. Oh no. Sorry. For a second then. Hang on. No, we're in. Hang on.
Well, we're sort of. Years. Yeah, so it would be BC, wouldn't it? Is sort of what we'd be working with. So it'd be like 6,000 years BC.
Yeah. Why do we still call it before Christ?
I don't know.
Because I'm not going to get into religion.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's move on. I'm just going to say fiction and wait for him to answer.
Yeah, let's get the answer on that one.
Phil Phil's adding a bit of context though. The world is 6,000 years old and flat. So
Yeah,
there you go.
there we go. No, that's true, kids.
Mm.
Anyway,
That's true, kids.
Spotify hit 1 billion streams for one song before YouTube had 1 billion streams on one video. True or
Ooh.
false?
Spotify is pretty big. YouTube's pretty big. YouTube's been going longer, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to say fact.
Yeah.
I reckon. I just think that with music, you can listen to the same song like multiple times, and with a video, once you've watched it, it's done. So I feel like you need to have one. I mean, you might watch the same video a couple of times or a few times, but it would have to be really good for you to do that. I'm going to go fact.
You're going fact. There's 3 falses or fictions in the comments.
Yeah.
To let you know, it is actually false. It is fiction.
Wow.
And it
Okay.
was because in 2012, Psy with Gangnam Style was hit 1 billion in 2012 on YouTube.
Wow.
That was the first to hit 1 billion views. And then it wasn't until 2016 that Spotify hit 1 billion streams for one song, which was Drake's One Dance. There you go.
Tune.
That's it. But to put it, you were right along the lines of in terms of age. The YouTube launched in 2005, I believe, whereas Spotify was 2010. So it did have, sort of
A head
that
start.
advantage as such. Yeah, certainly. There you go.
There you go. Sorry, I just saw a comment there from Phil. Ronaldinho, the footballer, Brazilian footballer, was the first video, I think, and that would have been mid-noughties. Oh, there you go. No. And Chris has come back a bit quicker this time. It is true. And look at us young ones giving it the big I am.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, my penultimate one now. Have you got one more off this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. Here we go. A meteor exploded over Earth with the force of 10 atomic bombs.
When?
And wait. And everyone missed it.
Mm-hmm. When though? When are we talking? just make up a date. Yesterday.
2018.
10.
That's 10 atomic bombs.
I'm gonna say true. So fact, and I'm going to say fact because there have been a few things in the recent past where people have been talking about meteors that were heading to Earth or whatever it may be, or is that asteroids I'm thinking of?
You sure you're not thinking of a movie?
I'm not thinking of Armageddon.
What a film! Don't want to close my eyes. Oh, thank God, Aerosmith there.
So what did I say? What was my answer? I can't remember. I said fact. Yeah. So I think if that happened outside in space and that, it might happen and you might not even know it. And there are things where you see like bits of meteor coming in and hitting the Earth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love Chris's comment. False. I'm a light sleeper. I would have heard that. Cable's lost son. Superman punched it out of the way. I can tell you it is fact.
Wow.
And in fact, December the 18th, 2018, not that long ago.
Wow.
And it took place over the Bering Sea.
Right.
Now I need to know where the Bering Sea is. Where is that? Can anyone tell me where that is?
Isn't it called the Bering Strait as well? Isn't that underneath Africa? Is that the bit of scene that goes underneath Africa?
There you go.
Maybe.
I
I need to look that up now. But Bear with me.
Yeah. I don't know why, but why have bananas come onto the chat? Shane has said to Adam
because there was a fact about bananas putting
Was
out
there?
there, whether it's we share 40% of our DNA.
With bananas.
Yeah.
Mad. I feel like that's a sign, you know. I feel like that is a sign.
Oh no, I was completely wrong. So the Bering Strait, which I was referring to, is you've got Canada, so like the west coast of Canada and then the east coast of Russia. They're next to each other, and the bit in the middle is so it's not very well populated. Stop being seductive in that banana is all I'm gonna say. Oh, yeah,
It feels like it's the right time.
it does.
Your final fact, Matt.
Final fact for everyone. Character designer Atsuko Nishida based the design of Pikachu on a mouse. Fact or fiction?
He does look a bit like a mouse. But it's your last one, so I'm going to say fiction.
Well, Chris has said fact. So, that's one answer, which is good enough. Let me tell you the answer. It is actually fiction.
Yes.
So the reason it is fiction is she actually based it on a squirrel, because she really likes squirrels. And but the only reason people assume that it's a mouse is because it's classified as a mouse type Pokemon, so people think it's a mouse. But it was based on the squirrel, and part of the design was the cheeks, like the cheeks of the squirrel when it eats get quite swollen, and that's where sort of Pikachu's electricity, like in its cheeks and whatever, comes from. Yeah.
How mad.
There you go.
But I mean, yeah. I mean, a mouse wouldn't be too far from his look. But yeah,
exactly. That's it.
There's crossover there. There's definitely crossover.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
You've ended on a fiction. Have I ended on a fiction? That is the question.
I don't know. It depends whether you made this question up completely. Is what it's all about, isn't it?
It's another animals one. Cows.
Yeah.
Moo in their local dialect.
That is awesome. Oh, thing is, I really want this to be true, because I think that is, if it is true, that is such a cool thing. So is it that dead? So it's their dialect. They speak essentially each cow in a different place will
Like we're
have
from
its own
Essex.
words. It'll have its own words for things.
We'll have an Essex twang. They'll have a certain moo twang.
I'm good.
Moo twang clan.
Wu-Tang. Yeah, I'm gonna say that is true, just because I want it to be true. It sounds amazing.
Well, there's quite a few people that want it to be true.
Want it to be
some
true
people
as well.
That think it's true. I can confirm it is true. It is a fact, and researchers have done research into this.
Lots of research.
And do you know what? I've got absolutely no information to confirm it, other than I've heard it on 2 separate radio stations within the last fortnight.
It's got to be true then, isn't it?
That's true.
Based on that alone.
Yeah. True fact. There you go.
Amazing.
Well,
next time I see a cow, I'm going to be listening for that accent. That's,
well, you'd need to go in 2 different.
You would. There's
just to hear the different,
wouldn't there?
No, that's more. That sounded more like a goat. Or apologies for any of the listeners. Well, amazing.
We did it.
The scores at the end of that round of fact or fiction. Who cares? We've had a great time. We've learned a lot of crazy stuff.
And can I
Well-
just say, the request at the beginning of the show was that we finish at 22:22,
I've been
and
keeping
it's
my eye on
now
it.
22:19 and 38 seconds. So, look, we've nearly done it, haven't we?
Well, and you know what we do at this time of the show? We thank everyone who's joined us. I've got a bit Dutch. Sorry, but no, it was an Irish banana. So no, not Irish, Dutch. What am I talking about? Matt, talk for a minute.
So that banana has completely done you in. Thank you for everyone that's joined. It's awesome to have such a great group of people joining in with this for us, and thank you for the contributions with the questions as well, which have been equally as fun. So and as Phil said, who needs school? I hope everyone has learned something this evening from this.
Yeah.
Certainly about cows at the very least.
Yeah, and we've gone back round full circle. Phil's just mentioned there the reason I'm getting my words all mixed up. It's not the banana, it's not the beer, it's the gear. So
It's all about the gear.
It's all about the gear. That'll be a theme of this episode. As we said at the beginning, and as you've seen down the bottom, most of you who follow us already know we're on all the socials. You can listen to the show from tomorrow, Matt, when that goes up. So that'll be
in the next hour or so. If you want to
Matt
stay
works
up,
his magic,
if you want to stay up, have a listen to it again.
Yeah. If not, you can watch it again. And because it was so much fun, if you need to go back and hear some of them facts again, you can watch it all again on YouTube straight after we end this broadcast. But for now, we will be back next week. What episode number was this, Matt? 7 or 8?
This is 7. So next is 8.
We are
we're
nearly
ending the series.
And nearly at episode 100. Can you believe it?
There you
go. Thanks again to everyone. I'm just really longing this out so we can reach
end at 22.
Amazing if we can. Really amazing. I'm going to take that down because it's nearly time. We're going to say goodbye to all who have joined us. God, this is the longest minute.
Here we go.
Here we go.
And we're here.
Goodbye, everyone.
I hope you enjoyed that episode as much as we did. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our future episodes.
Yeah, and you can also follow us on all social media. So you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok.